morning, good morning, good morning. Let's bring this mic down so you can hear me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing? Uh Holiday weekend. Who's surviving it? Who's looking for a bridge? Oh God. Okay. Well, long-suffering husband is no longer Mr. Wonderful long-suffering husband because now we're into holiday season. And he thinks it's football season. But what he doesn't know is they only play football on the weekends. They don't look at my hand. I know, look, I got so gouged up. I'm telling you, decorating is hard work. Um he thinks he's gonna watch football all week. I'm like, no, 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 no. We're going to my sister's house in Long Island. Long Island. In 2 weeks. And there is something. Now, look, I have been to New York with this guy half a dozen times. Every time we go to the Mets game because we can take the dogs to the Mets game, we always manage to conveniently miss the Yankee game, which I am a Yankee fan. I don't know how we ever got together. I liked Diet Coke back in the day. He drank Pepsi with extra sugar and extra corn syrup. Um, you know, I liked going out and I liked having parties and having friends in. And he just curled up in a corner like a house cat and would talk to two people. I don't know how we get along, but we did. But I gotta tell you, you guys want to hear a funny story? I swear to God. He, when I first met him, he didn't say much about his religion, but I was a church girl back then. I got a little kid. I'm trying to raise him right in the way of the Lord, which turned out to be, by the way, an epic failure because now he's anything but godly. Okay, so I decide I'm going to take the man who hasn't been to church in 30 years to church. And he decided to go because it was the night after our first date. And he said, I like this girl. First of all, he knew I could make a cheesecake. That was pretty much the deal. That and Arthur, my dog. Arthur was such a man whore. I mean, he just fell in love with him in 2 seconds. So, naturally, Arthur became. Hold on a minute. I wonder if I could just move. I can't move the timer up. I don't even know. I guess I'm on. I don't even. I hate this damn thing. These updates are pissing me off. Okay. So long-suffering husband hasn't been to a church since the apocalypse, or the parting of the Red Sea, whatever. And he walks up to the church and his eyes gaze up and he looks at the whole thing. It's very gothic. It's very ornate. And he's looking up at the steeple. And then he starts looking at the sky. And we're only on the third step, and there's 6 steps to get up. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to make it 3 steps and bug out. Anyway, he's standing there. People are walking around him now. And I'm like, uh, uh, darling, what are you doing? He said, I'm waiting for the lightning to strike. And I was like, it's a beautiful day. There's not a cloud in the sky. What are you talking about? He said, no, I'm waiting for the lightning to strike me. Okay, I yank him up the next 3 steps. We get into the church. He wants to sit in the back. I'm not a backseat church girl. I sit towards the front, in the middle. I want to see the lint on the pastor or the priest. I want to see lint on his tie. I want to be up there. Anyway, I knew this was a bad idea. I was like, I am never, ever, ever going to see this man again. Well, he's mumbling through the whole thing like, I thought they said it in Latin. And I was like, no, they only do that in the old churches. And they don't say it in Latin anymore, honey. Welcome to the new world. And he's just trying to teach you. He's talking about manners, how we as Christians need to have manners. And you have to remember, this is 21 years ago. I've evolved. He's evolved. But there was a woman with her hand up, and she was in it. She was in like some deep, deep prayer. She was hoping and praying. Her drunk, football watching husband at home was going to change and put down that beer can and show some manners. You could tell. Anyway, he's staring at her. And I'm like, honey, you can't just stare at people. Like 5 minutes goes by, he's still staring at her. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Why are you staring at her? I'm trying not to be judgmental because I know he's out of his element, but I've got a kid and my kid needs to go to church, whether he likes it or not, which, by the way, turned out to be not. Now he's all woke, whatever the hell that means. Anyway, I still don't know what woke means. Anybody out there know what woke means? I want to be relevant and not an old lady, in the corner, but I really don't know what woke means. Anyway, so he's, oh God, I put the wrong blue in the wrong pile, and now I don't know where. I think it's this guy. Yeah. Anyway, so what happens, but he's still staring. It's been like 8 minutes. He's staring at this poor lady. And I asked him, I was like, what are you looking at, honey? What about this has mesmerized you so much that you were staring? And he's like, she has her hand up. How rude is this preacher guy that she has her hand up and he won't answer her? And I was like, it's not a question and answer kind of thing. It's a sermon. He's like, yeah, but she's had her hand up for like 10 minutes. And I was like, honey, she's talking to Jesus. She's not talking to the pastor. He said, okay, I'm telling you right now, if he shows up, I'm getting the hell out of here so fast. And he said it loud enough that the guy behind him heard, and he goes, I'm getting the hell out of here quicker than Speedy Gonzalez. And I was like, I didn't know who Speedy Gonzalez was, so I had to get explanation about that. But the guy behind him knew who it was, and he leaned forward and he goes, you know what? I'm right behind you. If he shows up, we're screwed. This is all going on. The the priest is like uh trying to talk over them, but he can't get it. So that was my first. And then he came again. He came back to church again, because he realized that even though it was kind of a modern Catholic church, you got out of there in time for football. He said, okay, if we get out of here in time for football. But he was really enamored with me. I don't mind saying he was kind of, um, like, if I don't go to church with this girl, she's going to dump me like yesterday's news. And I really wasn't that much of a holy roller that I would dump him. But, yeah. So, if you see somebody raising their hand in church, it's not because they have a question. It's not like, ooh, class time, Yeah. I just thought you would enjoy that. I'm keeping the whip and chat short because I plan to try to do one every day. I'm coming up with some old stories from the old days. We are definitely going to be in fight mode very soon because we're going to New York. I want to take a New York, it's called like a ride around town or a ride in town. It's a bus and it's all pink. It costs like $100, but everything in New York is $100. Big effing deal. Thing is, it's about 90 minutes. You get served tea and crumpets and cakes and champagne. The whole bus is decorated in pink flowers. It's got a moon roof. Go look it up on YouTube. You will die. It's like Barbie vomited all over this bus. And I want to do the bus. It's on my bucket list. He thinks that's girly shit. I'm not going on that bus. And I was like, why? Are you that emasculated? I have been to how many baseball games with you? I've walked my dogs around the Mets baseball field 3 times. Okay? I think you can do one girly thing. Anyway, he's, he's showing a little resistance, and quite frankly, I feel a little bickering coming on, but I will win. I will win. I will cry. I will do whatever I have to do. I will come up with a fatal disease and say I'm dying. This is my final trip to New York. Or I will do the smart thing, which is just buy him a couple of Jets tickets. Yeah, let him go. Because he's like, well, the minimum is 2 people. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, but we're going to have the dogs with us. And I was like, they're therapy dogs. So let them on board. I said, dogs are allowed on buses and stuff. It's New York. I mean, New York is very dog friendly. Now, some restaurants aren't. I get it. We don't need to give them our money anyway. But a lot are. So tell me what you think. I need some good emotional manipulation, because just plain out asking ain't working. I need help, people. Come on. Let me hear your suggestions. I love you. Listen, you're important to me. Be important to you. Have a good day. Shine on. It's Sunday. Bye.